Also with universities, of course this year. And yeah, leverage networking. Networking is just very, very important. And the graph before, it's more or less very simple. We quickly to set up a prototype. And we start very often an internal pilot, then sometimes an external pilot, and quickly do a rollout. Sounds very simple, but again, if you know an S-class takes 7 years, to say we now need to do a pilot in 1 year or half a year, you shock people at our engineers because they're not used to be so fast. The controllers expect business cases, 50, 40 business cases, every cent to be analyzed. And we try to say that the best way to validate is to see if there's a customer who's willing to pay for this idea. So it's a very different way of thinking in this way than in the traditional Mercedes Daimler environment. Yeah. So we try to quickly do a pilot because we say the best feedback is when the customer says he pays for it. Because you can do assumptions, what if, or so. You can spend days, months, years with controllers. They'll always find a reason why this is not logical. But if I can present you a customer who's willing to pay, okay, that already is something which brings a lot of credibility. Because in headquarters, very often, they forget to know who is the customer. They're too busy with internal issues, internal departments. So to really show actually there's a customer is very unique sometimes, a unique experience. So it's very helpful to show these to the colleagues. We have set up offices in Beijing, in Sao Paulo, Buenos Aires, Palo Alto. So these are some areas where we believe there's growth. We will soon have one around the Middle East. But of course, innovation is not only in Stuttgart, right? I mean, very often people at Daimler think so, but it's not. But it's yes.
Raymond, how do you choose a location for the innovation center? I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, why don't you choose Israel?
Good, yeah. So again, there's of course some political impact to certain decisions, and also willingness, and also areas what makes it convenient. Okay, Israel, you could say yes. We are perhaps looking to ventures through startups with Israel companies, perhaps. Yeah, that's a way how to scan that. Yeah, okay. Or we use people who know the Israel market, perhaps. Yeah, but we use, of course, Beijing is pretty clear. Palo Alto, we already have a big lab. Mm-hmm. Silicon Valley, we have a lot of innovation there. And so it's also easy to leverage the infrastructure. Okay.
For your previous slides, right?
Yeah.
Since you are so care about your customer needs.
Yes.
So what I mean, what you need is internal or external. I mean, look your previous slide, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yours has to follow the internal, external.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. But before here, yeah, it's easy again. It's a soft launch to do internally to also get some experience. Because again, with Daimler, you have sometimes a big name outside, especially in the German market and European market. So some people, of course, are cautious. It depends on what innovation we do. But sometimes internally, you can learn something before you go out. Because once you go out with Daimler, of course, there are certain expectations. That is always the challenge. And risk aversity connected to business innovation with a large corporation. Internal people fear that you will dilute their brand. So through internal pilot, we can do a kind of soft launch and to create credibility. But it depends on the topic. Also important for setting up organizational-wise, the team is very cross-functional. So I come from the financial services area. We have colleagues from production, cars, research development, trucks, marketing. So for Daimler, across the group. This is one of the only teams within Daimler which is so diverse. Because normally you have 10,000 truckers, or you have 10,000 people doing car, or 10,000 people doing research development. You hardly have teams which are so cross-functional. And this is also our strength. So we can, with this team, we can get any information, because everybody has a home base and they have their network. And this is, again, something unique that in companies which have strong business units, there's, of course, let's say, a kind of egoism within the business units, and there's sometimes very little interaction. You could say people are time poor. You could say they have their focus. They have little capacity anyway to look outside. But that's a fact that large organizations have their issues between business units. So actually, one of our big assets is to connect business units to create innovation, because they very often do not talk to each other, or they don't know how to interact with each other, or they don't have the information. So there's few areas within Daimler which actually are so well connected as our team.